I've got bruised souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones.
Rock bottom make a man and some pressure make a gemstone. Trying to put a dollar to my name like Creflo. Naja boy, late to the game, it's in the blood flow. And I'm from the south, it's thick skin and tough bone. Big attitude through big lips with gusto. Trust no kings, that's why they tried to crush souls. But it's IGBO, when the dust blow, this old head be standing there. No silver, just gold. Crack no books on the hustle, I was born to grind. Yo, scared of your potential, I'm adorned with mine. 30 times around the sun, man, of course I shine. My legacy will not dwarf with time. And in my daughter's eyes, it's basic, I must not say quit. Every day sees a present like a Rob St. Nick. Walk a fine line between tenacious and patient. I can't slip, I'm fighting clocks and they can't win.
I've got bruised souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. I've got bruised souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Who that soldier in the mirror? Oh, oh. I'm gonna turn all of my stones.
Impeccably I flow, hardest raps you know, breaking status quo, reaping what I sow, artistry like Van Gogh. Get it from my mama, hip so thick that I need tempo. Personality, spicy body banging like a bongo. Cause black women been it since Timbuktu, since Pharaoh. Sponge rollers and hot combs, lips, cheeks and brow bones. If you ain't for the culture, then please stay out of my zone. These little dummy rappers could never grace my headphones. See, I'm from a place in space where ain't no storytelling, you just had to have been there. If you want the battle, ain't no problem, say where. I got so much experience, I can't even play fair. But I'ma keep evolving and growing and hurting feelings and showing. You need endurance to go in, I got mileage on this pen. I've been busy cause I've been out here schooling all these kids. Took 3 decades to have this glow up that I did.
I've got bruised souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. I've got bruised souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Who that soldier in the mirror? Oh, oh. I'm gonna turn all of my stones.
guys know, I know you guys were checking shoes last night to see if he was barefoot. Is that still the case? Is he barefoot? Because I know on Facebook somebody posted a picture of these could be his shoes, or is that so he is presumed to be barefoot at this point?
What I can say is that his mom says all of his shoes are accounted for at the house. I'm not going to say that he's barefoot.
All right.
Allegedly!
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here coming at you with another raw narrative. Here's a brief disclaimer for tonight's show. Let's watch.
That's ignorant! Allegedly, that's ignorant! Ignorant.
Judgment, Aslı.
Chloe, you read my thoughts. You've got the shinin.
You mean shining?
Shh! You wanna get sued?
Judgment, Aslı.
You just use that shin of yours to call me and I'll come a running.
Sorry for what?
But don't be reading my mind between 4 and 5. That's Willie's time.
Hey, yo, boss. I love him when he does that.
Let's watch.
Don't get me back to good bullshit.
Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here coming at you with another raw narrative. And it's so good to be here with all of you guys tonight. Thank you all so much for coming in and saying hello. It's so good to see you guys. I'm sorry I was off last night. I just needed a quick break and I wanted to do a little bit of research because I know there's some new pictures floating around. And I just kind of wanted to give you my thoughts and perspective on it. I did a short video. But I think something that is really exciting has popped up, and I want to share that with you guys too. So if you want to watch the video, I put it up. It's also short. It's like probably 8 minutes. But it gives you a good idea of what's going to be talked about tonight. And then, of course, we'll break it down. But hello, Chuchi. Thank you so much for being here. So good to see you. And also, no dark triads. We're going to be talking about mature content, especially when it comes to the search animal, the otter that we're going to talk about tonight, right? Because dogs can smell things, up on the surface of the water, but these otters are using their sense of taste, and they're tasting the bubbles and things that are coming up from the gases of human bodies, right? Remains in bodies of water. And so I, of course, wanted to, you know, talk about that, and see what we can do to help facilitate some of that. And Sasha, good to see you, Sasha. So the Hunt's Brothers t-shirt, pizza t-shirt, right? It's like Casey's, right? Like Casey's gas station pizza, but it's Hunt's Brothers pizza. And it's kind of in the, like, more rural areas where you might not see a lot of, like, pizza joints or pizzerias, so they have them in the gas stations type of a thing. Apparently, they have merch. So that's interesting to me, and Katie and Chris love rocking out the Hunts Brothers merch, right? So we know that. I don't know if that picture of him in the Hunts Brothers t-shirt is from this particular sighting or not. Let me know if you guys know for sure in the chat. I was just taking the pictures because I have no time. I've had no time. But I'm taking the pictures and comparing those, right, to see if maybe this is Chris Proudfoot. But there's also questions about the van that I found to be interesting. And I know that you guys enjoy talking about these subjects. So it's a big bunch of chatter about this, and I thought we would go over it just briefly, but then move on to the search for Sebastian Rogers, right? Because that's what's most important. I don't care what Chris and Katie do, right? Like, I am not going to take a picture of them while they're out. I wouldn't appreciate it. I don't want people taking pictures of me. Da 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 da. I understand why people feel justified in taking these pictures, though, because they feel like Chris and Katie have involvement in Sebastian's disappearance and they're desperately trying to find him, just like everybody else, right? So, no harm, no foul. It's not illegal. I personally, I'm not a fan of it, right? Just because I think about putting myself in that position, would I want it done to me? Not really, right? I don't want people following me around. I don't want people, um, taking pictures when I'm not looking or when I'm just going up to Walmart, say, or something like that. So I kind of don't agree with that part, but I understand it because we think that Chris and Katie have something to do with it. Um, just because we should do something, though, doesn't mean that we, or just because we can do it doesn't mean we should do it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Just my opinion. Don't come for me. Um, Just my opinion. And Gail is here. Hey, Gail, so good to see you. We are Sebastian and Devlin's army. Yes. So I couldn't help but think when I saw this otter guy, right? This little guy Splash, that he might be able to help in Lake Odessa because Lake Odessa, Michigan is full of water too. Right. So, or an otter that's trained like him. This is a huge development in my opinion. And a good friend of ours and subscriber Jilly, who's in the chat tonight, and I think because I know you get tired, Jilly, because I go on so late, but I appreciate you being here because you've helped get in touch with this otter, right? And this is revolutionary in the field. um but it's also going back to, animals helping humans and just the natural order of things is so beautiful. I don't want to cry, but I think it's so wonderful and I'm so excited. Like, I was speechless when Jen called me um this evening. I was speechless. I couldn't believe that we could finally get some sort of help searching um for Sebastian. And we don't know if there may be other people that can be found through this method also, right? And I'm not even talking in terms of Devlin, but I mean people that are out there. I don't ever want to think that Sebastian is out there, and that's another thing that made me very quiet, which is not easy to do because I'm a chatty Cathy, I'm a chatterbox, um, and I just felt a weight on of the situation, right? And so I was quiet and thinking, and Jen already knows me, so she knows that I'm processing. I'm like a computer, I'm buffering, right? But I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, really? Oh my god, wow." And then Jilly was sending over some videos for me to watch, and so I put a couple of them together. But really, really awesome. And it could help tremendously. I mean, people that are stuck in cars, and I mean, we know that kind of the top dogs in the true crime community for finding missing people in water are the Adventures with Purpose guys, right? And they kind of branched off a little bit, but they will find people who are in cars. That's what they mainly focus on. And we learn that because Sabrina, uh, Devlin's aunt, she's the one that got a hold of them and asked about Devlin, and they said, "No, we can't do it because we typically go for people who are in a car and have gotten into the water, and couldn't get out of the car type of a thing." Um, so the amazing things about these otters, though, also piggybacking onto that, is that they use sonar. So they're not only using their sense of taste, but they're using the sonar to navigate. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I'm just so excited. I was like, "Am I allowed to talk about this? This is great," right? And I want to play Jen's live where she starts talking about this and some hot spots and the way that this kind of came um, about her, thinking about how can we get these waterways, right? Because we've talked about it and we really need men out there to help us lift shit. We are strong women. Don't get me wrong. We're out there looking, all of us women that were out there, and you guys know who you are. Big shout out because a lot of the Dragon Tribe showed up, a lot of the Watchers showed up, and then you had Jeff and another one of our male friends. But we need more men to step up. We do. And I'm not afraid to say it. I mean, it is what it is. We need y'all to come out. We need y'all to put your boots on and help us because we cannot do it by ourselves. We just can't. We just can't. So Cinderella, it's so good to see you. And hey, Marion, good to see you. And Sasha, again, Sasha, I know I'm right there with you. I want to know where these things came from. And hello, Jilly, good to see you. And there is an otter. There's an otter emoji. Hello, love, mama, love. Good to see you. And Lori is here. Lori, I hope you have the best time on vacation, girl. I hope you get to relax and just have a great time with your daughter and your grandkids. And oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I'm so happy for you. I hope you have the best time. And Witchy Mama is here. Good to see you, Witchy Mama. And Ann Reynolds. Hey, Ann Reynolds. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm so glad Chi-Chi's feeling better. We really need Chi-Chi around here. I miss her when she's not here. And Bo says hello. Hey, Bo, good to see you. And thank you so much for hitting the like button, you guys. It really means a lot to me and helps grow the channel, gets me in the algorithm, into the rhythm of the algorithm. Um, that is so amazing, Lori. I just love that. Hey, YouTuber is here. And we also have one of our special guests. We got to do a part two because we had so many awesome topics and conversations. And, Jennifer Aaron, our author friend, was so awesome about, answering the questions and elaborating. And we just had the best live. If you guys have not checked that out, please check it out. Also, this is the link for Jennifer's book. Guys, if you've ever been through domestic violence, I'm here to tell you I've been out of it since 2011, but dealt with a lot of after abuse. And I'm here to tell you this book is amazing. It has journaling options or opportunities as I see them, and just tons of information. And also bringing in a lot of new concepts that people don't generally talk about and don't recognize. And if you've been through it, you know, and you can identify with this book. If you have a friend that you know of, buy this book for your friend. You know, this would be a great thing to add to someone's arsenal so that way they can empower themselves and know that they're worth it, right? That's the whole moral to the story. This person who's hurting you is lying to you about who you are just to break you down because they know that you're better than them and they know that they'll never get better than you. Just remember that. Scranton Strangler, it's so good to see you. Hey, Scranton. So good to see you. And our beautiful friend Jennifer Aaron is here. Sebastian Strong, that's right. And Jennifer, I'd love to do a live with you about Sebastian as well, because we did talk about Sebastian too in the live that we did. And, you know, we just kind of got on a roll for a while there too. But, you know, that's how I know Jennifer, you know, we're part of Sebastian's army. And guys, Sebastian's army is some of the best people. We're always over here thinking about what we can be doing, how we can find him, right? Because at the end of the day, nothing else matters besides finding Sebastian, right? We have to speculate. We're going to speculate, and it's healthy and it also sparks new ideas. We should be speculating, but there's certain things that I think that at this juncture we really need to focus in on. You know, let the police, if they're going to do it, I don't know if what they're doing. I hope they're doing more. I hope. Um, you know, but I would hope that they would be keeping a close eye on Chris and Katie. I'm sorry, I'm dropping the link right now. I just looked down and realized I didn't drop that link. But that is for Jennifer Aaron's book, guys. It's a must read. It is a must read. Like I said, it even helped me and came into my life at the minute that I needed it to. And you know, please, please, please go read it. There's some excerpts that I put in a video, and we read some of them off. We're gonna finish that up. So, um, oh, Scranton, you're such a hard worker, girl. Aw. Hello, Kiki. Good to see you, Kiki. And oh, I did no, Anne, I miss Anne, I did not see that JLR was back on. No, I unsubscribed to him. I thought I unsubscribed to him before all this, and apparently I was still subscribed, so I unsubscribed, you know, with the masses, I guess, that decided, you know, there was a bunch of us that did. So oh, am I sounding choppy? I'm sorry, guys. I was going in between windows. Sometimes it does that. Thank you, Chuchi. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Scranton, isn't that otter so cute? Oh my gosh. So I used to have this it's a ferret, right? But they are in the otter family. So my ferret used to like to, you know, swim and stuff. Oh my gosh, she was so cute. She would love to swim. But she was called Stinky for a reason because they really stink bad. But that was what I named her Stinky. But because she stunk and my mom hated her and she's like, that rat stinks. But again, I told you guys my mom was a total neat freak. It did not like the stinky animal around, but they're so cute. And that splash reminds me of, you know, Stinky. I don't know if they have like that gland that secretes all that and stuff. I don't know why. I think because I mean, even though she was dissented, she still had like a weird musk. But anyway, she's so cute and she reminds me a lot of this little guy, this otter. And we found out Jilly was like, I'm not sure because I called it a girl. And then I was like, oh, I'm not sure. And we found out because he said good boy. Yeah, Lori. Oh my gosh, the otter is just adorable, right? And the way that they like taste the bubbles is amazing to me. Like I wonder how they figured that out, that they could do that. Because that's really amazing in my opinion. Hello, Catherine. Good to see you. Otters are adorable, but man, can they give a bite? Yes, Witchy. He says that he gets bit. They bite. They aren't as friendly as they are cute in the wild, right? I bet. I bet. Because they have to be like, well, for one, they're carnivores, which I mean, I don't know why I thought they were herbivores, or I guess I thought they were omnivores, but either way, carnivorous little otters that are so cute but have a big bite. And I think in one of them they show the teeth. So, oh, Sasha says I suggested putting a camera on a shark or a beaver. It's amazing how they can get in, and especially with the low visibility in the water and stuff. Like he was talking 10% visibility in the water, and I'm like, wow, you know, just crazy. It's so cool that they can do that, and I love this idea. And so yeah, thank you, Jilly. Oh my gosh, just awesome. Um, Me either. Been so busy. I wondered about the big guy that came out of the bathroom when Sebastian went in. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know, Kiki, and that's the thing. Let me show this first. And we'll go to okay, the Maryland, Stepfoot in Maryland. Did I already? Okay, hold on. I just need to find it because okay, here we go. Let me get past this Jolly Rancher something. Lip balm. All right. Okay. So, oh wait, that's my live. I thought I got okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, here it is. All right. So let me go ahead and share that because I don't want to share that part yet. Okay. And let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so this is just a quick video that I made, and like I said, if you guys just want to go watch it again, you always can, without commentary. If you want to examine or screenshot the pictures, however. So this is Katie's van when Sebastian first went missing in March of 2024. And you can see the way it's parked is always like backed up, right? But you can see there's two handles as if this is a slider, right? And then you have the passenger, and then on the other side, you can see that there is only one door handle, right? And apparently she got the vehicle wrapped, but I guess this is where they would wrap it since there's no other door on this side. And it was telling me that this was a Ford something or other. What was it? Now I can't remember. Hold on a second. Because I was searching it. Um people also turn these into um like little camper deals as well. So I thought that was interesting when I saw it. Um Give me 1 second here. Hello, Sammy. Good to see you, Sammy. And Meow. So good to see you. Hey, Susanna. Oh gosh, yes, exactly. Oh my gosh, we do. We love Seth and Sebastian. And my thoughts are always with Seth. I try not to get too, sappy and send him a message, but sometimes I do. Just tell him I'm proud of you, buddy, cuz it's not easy. This is crazy. Yeah, my ferret never bit anybody, Sasha. She was a sweet, sweet, sweet little girl. And there's there's the otters. They're so cute. They are related to the Wolverine. Yes, Cinderella, they are, which is kind of badass. Uh, Sammy says another person said earlier that she believes she saw Sebastian at Mission Barbecue in another Maryland city. I don't recall. We know the Prouds like to eat barbecue. Well, they do. They do. And that's interesting. Mission Barbecue in Maryland City. That's interesting. Oh my gosh, I am over the moon about it, Jilly. I was just like totally dumbfounded. I'm like, that is so awesome. Um Everyone was petting him and loving on him, Sasha. So he seemed, but you could tell he probably I mean, I'm sure his handler guy knows when he gets scared and can sense when he's about to bite and things like that. But Yeah. Oh my gosh, I know. It would be great if it's Sebastian. And that's the thing. I mean, we need to keep our eyes open because we don't know. And I know that Jen wanted to clear this area, which I think is very important, to get areas cleared out of, just cleared. Because that way we know, right? Let's check mark some places off. I feel like a lot of time was lost, and we just need to. We just need to. The weird thing is, months ago, I found another workplace for KP, which would involve traveling, which is very interesting to me. Well, and here's the thing. Yeah, Kiki, that is interesting. And I just either think that someone either bought the van, like maybe she wrapped it and sold it, or my theories, right, are that possibly, I mean, Katie could have been using it, but I don't know why she would get the Brinks wrap done if she was going to keep it and work for a different place. And I also don't understand why Chris would all of a sudden want to go do bitness with Katie, right? Because that's what Katie told Nancy Grace, that she's studying bitness, right? Whatever the frig that means. It's ridiculousness, honestly. And it used to like be humorous to me in the beginning, but now it just makes me sick, right? But she's like, what are you studying for school? And Nancy Grace says school, and Katie says bitness, and I'm like, oh, it infuriates me. It used to make me laugh, now it infuriates me. Um, Aw, you would take a lion cub, Sasha? Aw. That's what the owner said. Yeah, Cinderella. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I know these people don't seem to want to run much water at their house. It's odd. Well, and I just don't think they've been home a lot, guys, because KJ from KJ's True Crime Campfire, she went to go check the neighborhood out, right? And she was looking up on Honeysuckle and all that streets like that are kind of above the neighborhood. Um, and then she went down to the neighborhood and they weren't there. Like, well, the van, I'll say particularly the van wasn't there. I do believe that Chris's truck is in the driveway, but I'll show you guys. But when I've been there, the van hasn't been there. So that's why I'm thinking that it's possible that they sold it. She sold it. She wrapped it for whoever to make it more appealing to a Brinks person. But then again, I don't know how that all works. And I did a little bit of research on it. It does appear that you can buy your own vehicle, but they usually provide one. So that's another thing that kind of stumps me. And I'm like, this just doesn't really make sense. Um, I know that overflow from the home went into the retention pond. Yeah, some of it does, but then some of it goes down. Like Sasha, I'll show you. Hello, Detroit. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Very weird time to come into chat, petting and biting and stinky little critters. Hello, Sam. Sandwich says bindness in the bond, y'all. Hey, everyone. She's studying business. She's studying business in the barn and the bond. Sorry. Oh, and then what did she say was it the 1 year anniversary? She was going, Sebastian doves animals. He just doves them. I'm like, what the hell is a doves them? Katie bidness. Bidness. Oh my goodness. To disguise the van, maybe, Sasha thinks. Yeah, that's interesting. She's studying business. Crazy bird. Hello, crazy bird. Oh gosh, guys. Oh, it's just crazy. Well, this is a good question, Jennifer, Aaron, because every single time I hear a loud noise now, I'm like, I think of the situation with Katie and her saying that she didn't check. right? Because it's almost like an instinct. It's like an automatic. You just like go in, especially if your kid's in there, right? Your child is a whole different ball game. But even like a dog, like I remember Beagle like did something where I think he like knocked something over on, and it was like in the other room, and I went in there and checked really quick. So it's like even if it's a dog, unbelievable. I mean, as a mom, it's weird. As a person, it's weird. Because even, say it was your husband, right? Say, I mean, you check on anybody. Shit, if I had a guest that was staying at my house and I heard a thud, I'd be like checking on them, right? I'd be like, "Are you okay in there? Right? Did something happen?" And usually you'll hear, "I'm good," or, whatever. But you at least check. Yeah, that's a great point. The other place she worked was headquartered in Tennessee, but the brand closed down in its Henderson HQ in 2015. I was thinking the other job was prior to Brinks. Oh, yeah, probably so. Probably so. And, I don't know if she got a lot of people calling in or if she wanted to change her job because everybody knew what her job was. Still wild that she didn't have security cameras working for Brinks. Very strange, especially because she was spending the majority of the time alone with her child. And in my opinion, and I know I've said, to the contrary with Eric Craddock because he's like, oh, it's just the safest place in the whole world, but nowhere's the safest place in the whole world. But I will say that Hendersonville does give that illusion because it's a nice area, right? If it's a nicer area, you could kind of get that illusion, that can be something where you might have a false set of expectations because you think you're in like, you know, a place where nothing happens and then lo and behold something happens, right? And that goes for anywhere. Um so hello Funtuski, good evening. Good night. Good night, Jilly. I'm so glad you were here, though, and thank you so much for all your hard work. I appreciate you so very, very much. I know Jen know how to follow up goes with Splash Owner. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, just text us in the group or, however. I'm so excited, Jilly. That's so great. Yeah, so this is great news, guys, with Splash. I think it's going to be something that we at least can get that out of our mind, right? And Aloha JH, good to see you. I thought she said she was studying business. She does love Mama Love, but we tease her because she says bitness. Bid. I see. I say it with a T. You guys are saying it with a D, but it's hilarious either way. Bidness. Business administration is what she told Nancy. Oh my gosh. Sasha says maybe she bought the van as to avoid taxes and fees to Brinks. Okay, so I was reading a little bit about that too, Sasha, and then I started getting so tired because I don't give a flying fudge sticks about Brinks. I mean, screw them. And then how are you going to have an employee that, I mean, they should have came out and told us whether Katie had cameras or not. I'm sure they can't, but I don't know. I just can't believe some people give these monsters a free ride on things, but I guess maybe it's because, the police have never named them as suspects. I mean, and that's the reality of the situation, and I don't know. I just wish they would get on the ball. Hey, Brenda, good to see you. And I hope that we can get some help from law enforcement on this new, I don't even want to call it new technology, just maybe a new development and how animals can help us. And, Sebastian loved animals. He loves animals. Katie would say he doves them, right? And so, how cool would it be for Sebastian to be found by an animal of any sort. You know, I don't know. It's a hard thing to think about because if he is where the otter can find him, then that's not good. Um, So, wonder if KP and CP started up a franchise. Can you do that with Brinks? I don't, that's a good question, Kiki. I don't know, but I just think it's weird that Chris would all of a sudden be working with Katie at Brinks or something. Like, see, I can't wrap my mind around that either. I mean, stranger things have happened, but um I don't know. I don't think the guy in the photos is Chris. I don't. Uh I don't know if they searched the van or not. See, Sasha, I'm not sure, you know. Yeah, Jennifer, a lot of people think that too, that she made the thud up in the story, right? Yeah, because she added it later too. She doesn't ever talk about it. Not until Smiley's stories. But she called it a noise. And then when Nancy Grace asked her, well, what kind of noise was it? She said, just a thud. As if it was, nothing. Yeah, it's very strange, right, Christmas Swan, that she didn't get up to check. I think so. Oh gosh, things were crashing in my bedroom. Bella was on my dresser throwing everything on the floor, right? But it's, sometimes the animals will do it and you check to make sure everything's good. You can buy the van and then act as an independent contractor similar to UPS or FedEx. Some of them pick up trucks in the morning and some of them have their own trucks. By the way, remember they are being a FedEx truck parked at the Sox for days or weeks. Oh, I don't remember that, Sammy. That's interesting. Kiki the pic you posted the other night is a really nice pic. Oh, yes, it is, Lori. Oh, that's so nice of you, Lori. You were so sweet. Yeah, you and your husband are so cute, Kiki, and you look beautiful. Catherine says people may have refused her installation after everything. Well, Catherine, I know. I wouldn't even want her in my house. Like, I don't know. There's just something about Katie that is not nice. Like bad vibes or something. A bad juju. Funtuski says, Kiki, I believe that KP is considered a subcontractor and she could hire anyone under her business, in my opinion. That's interesting. Something easy enough to do is check it out. Yeah, I mean, I did a little bit of research on it when Hindsight was talking about Hindsight and BMW Coop, excuse me, were talking about it on the Voices of Truth channel, and I thought, okay, maybe she is doing like over the road, but when I was looking back then, it said something like well, it basically said that they don't typically do that with installation techs. They keep to their local area. They don't like travel across the country in order to do the installations. It's not like, it's like, I mean, most jobs you're going to want to stay near where you live. I mean, and so they don't really have like long distance installation techs, if that makes sense, is what I read. And hello, Holly. Thank you so much for your super sticker. That's so sweet. Or super chat. She says, hi, dragons. And I knew it was your parrot. For some reason, I knew it was your parrot. Crazy bird. That's funny. Aw. um, Seems more likely to me, but she listed her title as a brand manager consultant. Oh, okay. So why'd she tell Nancy that she was an installation technician looking for business, doing DeVry for business? Did she ever go back and finish up DeVry for business? I wonder. And hello, little Miss Sharon. So good to see you. CP said nobody wants to search sewer pipes, but I do. Hey, the Otter will. The Otter will do it. He certainly will. And he'll be happy to do it for some treats, and that's the sweetest part. Hello, Women's Warrior. Good to see you. In my opinion, I believe that KP might have a contract with the military for security systems of family housing and or for building security systems and is under the brinks using their equipment. Oh, does that make sense? I think you're going to say. Oh, that's interesting as well. Yeah, you can go to AFFAS and apply for permits to sell on military bases. And then she would get a cut of that, I guess. Interesting. Thank you guys so much for hitting the like button. You guys are awesome. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Crazy Bird. I just Googled it, y'all. And it says if you work for Brinks, you cannot work state to state. So maybe, okay, it's a wild goose chase, in my opinion. Okay, so that's what I think I was reading, Kiki. I mean, sometimes you'll put stuff in there and it just depends on how you word it. So I'm not always like, my research is 100 because sometimes, and especially with Chat GPT, I can't tell whether I'm using that shit or not half the time. I'm like, am I using it? Because I don't know. Did Google overtake my phone? It does that sometimes. Um, but yeah, that's interesting. Because yeah, and it seems to me they would have a better retention rate using local installation techs that can just get up in the morning. Katie, would get up in the morning and go. Um, and then come back home after. I guess she got off at like 4 or 5. Lori thinks it's made up too. A lot of us do. Yeah, I mean, hey, I don't think a lot of their story is true. Of course, I'm kind of siding with the computer that gave them the 52% truthful thing. So I don't think the blue shirt and glasses guy is CP either. No, I don't think so. I mean, I know that if CP was to grow out his beard, he would look different, but his body, okay, now I'm going to be shaming Chris Proudfoot, body shaming Chris. So I apologize, but I'm going to say that you are rounder than this gentleman, right? And whatever. As we get older, it happens. But I'm just saying I don't see the same Chris Proudfoot body. Ew, Chris Bod. Ugh. I don't think he's working in Brinks. No, me neither. I don't think he's going to school for business. He could be. He was a recruiter or whatever he did. I thought the person in the photo was way too skinny to be CP. Thank you, Sammy. Yeah, because I'm not trying to look, I don't care what he looks like. He's not my husband. But those did look like short thumbs or his short thumbs. Right. Yeah. Oh, no bald spot on the beard. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Good to see you, Liberty. Yeah. Does anyone know if KP and CP had any kind of guns? I'm not sure. I would imagine they do because of their military background. Um, but I mean, I don't know. A lot of times if CPS is involved, they make you get rid of that out of your house. You know. So, had to run to my bedroom and I have glass coffee cups with parrots on them. Aw, how sweet. Aw. And she was trying to get rid of the other parrots. It's like, I'm the top parrot here. Too skinny and younger. Yeah, I agree, Liberty. Younger. Yeah, because look, Mr. Chris has that salt and pepper. I mean, he's older looking. The mustache also does not grow the same way CP's does. Right. Yeah, he kind of has like that handlebar thing going on, doesn't he? Ugh. I wish Nancy would have asked her what kind of installation technician. If Nancy knew she worked for Bring, she would have given them a harder stink eye. Than she already was. I think so too, Scranton. I think she was very easy on them compared to. I mean, I just watched her completely bury, I think it was a defense attorney the other day on her show when it came to the Murdaugh case. I mean, she cut him down, buddy. Then she, lifted him back up. He's great. He's our expert. But she told him off straight up. And it was all because he used a Latin term, or a Latin phrase, rather. Excuse me. It was a phrase. But yeah, I mean, juries don't like that. Just telling you. I mean, she went off. I was like, woo, doggy. And she allowed for Chris Proudfoot to look her dead in the eye and say, name the time and place, ma'am. Like the fool he is, in my opinion. Yeah, the FBI report does seem to be a different trajectory. I agree. Kylie's nail candy says maybe the van was purchased from an ex subcontractor of Brinks and then they didn't remove the Brinks stuff on it. Oh, that's a good question, or that's a good point. Hmm. Why would they be spending so much time in the state? That's a good question. I don't know if they are or not. And then Katie wasn't there. Apparently, no one got her on camera. So, business manager. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, brand management thing was odd, or excuse me, brand management thing was an old hotel job, then installation tech at Brinks, then commercial installation tech. Why Maryland if not military? Yeah. And I mean, but where's Katie at? Because Katie's not there. And then also, one big thing that stuck out to me is, when did Chris start wearing glasses? Is he business Chris now and he's wearing the glasses? What's happening? That was another big thing that I thought right off the bat, just looking at it in the first second. Chris doesn't wear glasses. Could he get a pair of glasses? Of course he could. I'm not saying that, but he just doesn't wear glasses, to the best of my knowledge, unless he maybe has some readers that he uses. Um, but people usually put readers on when they are reading. That's why they're called readers, because they don't need them to see otherwise, right? So just something to consider. Ah, thank you. Thank you so much, Little Miss Sharon. Armed Forces HQ is located in Texas. She would have proposed a business plan to them to provide services that would have give Brinks in a serving the military and being a female owner, in my opinion. Okay. Oh, I know. Oh, Sasha, she is such a BSer. She's a BSer. Kiki, thank you for sending a super chat. Makes me depressed that there's only a few of us left on Sebastian's case. I know. I know. And, I'm grateful for everyone who covers Sebastian's case. I think that the more people who care, the better, right? The more people that are talking about Sebastian, the better. We need to still be talking about him. And again, I think there'll be more buzz around his case with the Bullhorn Betty court date. Catherine says, I think it's kind of off if they are out of the state, possibly visiting Sebastian, is why people are curious where they are. Yeah. Oh, definitely. But I just don't think that Katie would, or I don't think Crispy would go visit Sebastian by himself. So where was Katie? That's the thing. And those two are like fucking peas and carrots. So. Oh, thank you, Kiki. I just saw this. Yeah, that's strange that she worked in hotel management, because I've worked in hotel management myself, and that's interesting. Before I got into real estate, that's what I used to do, and that's where I learned to show property, and that's just strange. Excuse me, Little Miss Sharon says, so would that mean with the new wrap, the van would be used as a Brinkston? I mean, I would think so, because why would you put, okay, so why would you put that on there unless, because if that was her van, she could sell it to anyone for anything. And like I told you guys, those are very popular models to make into like a little mini van life experience, right? That's kind of what Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie were traveling around in. I don't know if it's the exact same friggin' van, but it looks a heck of a lot like it. And I also saw people redoing them, you know? So to turn them into like a van life. So, but I wanted to show you guys these really quick. So this is again, the driver's side view, and that's the very same day as the one before. It has the two handles, right? Now she's always parked where you can't see the license plate. And again, backed in. Most of the time it's in the back of the driveway. We'll see Katie. Now, I added these to show the driver and the passenger side because this is where I got a little bit confused. And please feel free to help me out. But it appears that, again, Katie's van is backed up like it usually is. But I think maybe Chris from Mob Crew flipped this picture because you have a little button that you could flip the picture, so you could go click and flip it either way, right? And these were left just as is. So the passenger side here does have two doors, right? And then the passenger side here has two doors. So that's why I'm guessing it was flipped. But this is, again, just a comparative. This is the Brinks logo that you can see that would appear on this side. So this one is like mirroring this view. And I don't know, this looks kind of strange. And someone in the comments, I was giggling, and I'm sure Josh would think it was funny too, but was like, kind of looks like JD from from the lab. And I said, it does. Oh no. And so I thought it was cute. But oh, he did flip the picture. Oh, thank you, Bo. Thank you so much. Because I was confused and it was late when I was doing my research, and I'm like, am I, maybe I should just stop, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at here. And then I got really confused because at first I'm like, there's two handles and this one's got one handle. So at first I'm like, you're not convincing, right, at all with this. But then also, I don't know what this is here, besides maybe some kind of strip of some sort, or maybe it was like, it's a logo that we can't see, but it's not on this picture. So, that's what kind of made me go back and grab these old photos from March of 24. Now, this is a closer view, and the bill of his hat is actually, it's kind of, I don't know what to call it, colliding with the door handle, and that's why it's giving that effect, Sandwich, poor Josh. We're over here alleging that Josh was in Maryland with Katie's van. No, I'm just kidding. Gigi, hey Gigi, so good to see you. All right, so this is a very interesting, and I'm glad that people are, if they think they're seeing them, it is interesting. So again, this is like another cutout of that same picture that we just saw. Now this is the body, and this is not Chris Proudfoot's body. I'm sorry. I just don't think it is. Yeah. And then also, the clip I watched, somebody sent me, it was like talking about how this guy had two phones. Guys, please don't read into that too much, because look, I have two phones. Right. I have two phones and I operate with two phones, and I'm constantly working off of both of them. So he could have a work phone and a personal phone, and so again, and then cargo pants are very common, especially for people who are workers, because they have pockets. So, but again, this is not a Chris Proudfoot Stepfoot bod, in my opinion. This is a man who is just, you know, doing his job, in my opinion. All right, so now this one is where I'm not sure where this one came from, but this one is the one that looks like Chris Proudfoot to me. You know, you can see that weird little thing that he's got like underneath of his, you know, where he doesn't grow hair under his lip, or maybe he trims around it. Um, you know, so we can see his fish lips better. But like, yeah, the glasses. Chris doesn't wear glasses. Um, in my opinion, Chris Proudfoot, um, I don't want to say he's olive complected because he's not, but he's a darker, if that makes sense. So, Josh, CP, and Seth, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be some shit? Aw, I think people are trying to confuse us. Well, and I think too, maybe they really think they did see him, and then they're just trying to, you know, and then the unfortunate thing about it is that we don't trust law enforcement is doing all they can do. And I think that's a big problem. And I would hate for that. Kiki, thank you. I was like, I don't want to say he's like darker, but you know, he's like not my shade, but you know, like maybe when I haven't been in the sun for a while type of a thing. So, and the cap logo, in my opinion, does look different. Hey, Shadow. So, you know, that's the thing. Um, I think that someone saw information maybe from CC and they knew about Sebastian being missing. Yeah, and I completely understand why people would be on the lookout and wondering why they would be in Maryland. If they think they see him in Maryland, I totally get it. I do. I completely get it because I would be like, wonder what they're doing, you know, and I'm still wondering if it is him, you know, because I can't say 100%. I don't do that. I don't like speaking in absolutes, especially in Sebastian's case. It's like you can't afford to, you know, because I mean, unless you want to look arrogant, like you're not open-minded. Also, um, you know, I want to know what you guys think. That's the reason why we have conversations. I don't want you guys to just agree with what I'm saying. You know what I mean? If you think it's him, it's, you know, then that's good. That's fine. I just don't. Um, Now this one looks like him. We know this is him, right? So I don't know. Maybe we need some more clarification on that front. And again, here's some more of that same person. Alleged sighting of Chris Proudfoot. All right, and then of course, when did Chris start wearing the glasses? This one is really the one that makes me think, no way. Right? When I look at Chris Proudfoot and I look at this picture, I'm like, no way, that's not him. This one too, because Chris has like, you know, a belly that you can see through his shirts. Like it doesn't matter what shirt he's wearing, you can see that, you know, the belly. Right? Here's the belly. You see that? And so this is why I think this is Chris Proudfoot. And then this is why I think it's Chris Proudfoot. Obviously, he's rocking the same Clover hat. You know, hey, Jen Jen, good to see you, hon. Thank you for becoming a new member. Welcome to the Dragon Tribe. Or if you're renewing, thank you for renewing. That reminds me, I want to get you guys for the month some memberships. So let me, thank you, Jen Jen, because I forgot about our membership that I can gift. So let me gift out some memberships. There we go. Let's send 5. So we're going to send 5 of those bad boys, and we'll do 5 more. Woohoo! Welcome to the Dragon Tribe, all new people. Lady Freedom is a shaking them bushes. Oh my goodness. All right. Fantastic. So again, and you know, we know they love Hunt's Brothers pizza. It's kind of a thing for them. They have his and hers matching, right? Matching Hunt's Brothers shirts. So, Fantuski says, in my opinion, high probability they are cons. Look at the photo from CNC mocking Seth, right, back in October of 2024, in my opinion. Yeah, I do remember that. That was like so gross. Yeah, horrible. Yes, Kiki. So what you do is when you're in your live, you open a new window with your live and then you click on the membership button and it'll say you have 10 to give away. And they give you 10 every month to give away for free to people. So it's really awesome. So he's also rocking the same mustache as the the guy in the glasses at in the Hunts brother. Yeah, is that one from where is that one from though? Do you guys know? Because I don't know, but if that now that guy looks like oh, awesome, Funtuski. Yay, I'm glad you got it. Woohoo. That's awesome. I always hesitate. I mean, it's a little scary because I'm like, I don't know who these are going to land on. But I'm so happy. Well, great. Well, everybody, welcome to the Dragon Tribe. Thank you, Jen Jen. Good to see you too. And thank you so much for your super chat. Yeah, no, don't. I didn't know. I was trying so hard to figure out how to do it, Kiki, for the longest time. Don't. Because I was like getting so frustrated. I'm like, I know there's a way I can do it. So, all right. So, moving along here on this little quick video I did here. So, October of 2025, this is my Pig Fest visit, and we saw, what we thought was Stephen Crabtree parked in the driveway, right? And then this is like the full on view of the driveway. So you do have the camper, you have Chris's truck, and then you have Crabtree. Now in the garage, I guess, is either Katie's Infinity and her work van or just the Infinity. I don't know because obviously we can't see that. But it definitely wasn't parked in its usual position in the driveway in October of 2025. No Brinks fan, right? Now, February 26, 2026, for the Gathering of Voices, our friend KJ, True Crime Campfire, drove by. And we see Christopher's truck in the driveway here, but no work van and no Infinity, just, the camper and Chris's work van. Or excuse me, Chris's truck. His truck. Don't talk about my truck. Right? So we're talking about the truck. But there's no Brinks van. Now, I went by before I left town in February of 2026 just recently for the gathering, right? And I drove by at night because I had never drove by at night. And what I saw was nobody, nada, not one person in the driveway. Right? Lights full blast. And KJ also pointed out in her photo that the lights above the garage were full blast. Right? So, oh, thank you, Brenda. Brenda Googled it. I Googled it, and there are 3 homes for boys with developmental disabilities in Maryland. What about the behavioral ones, though, Brenda? I wonder about those because here's the thing. I thought of that too. I mean, in the beginning, I thought they would find some place for Sebastian for autistic individuals, right? Young people. They were looking at behavioral centers. So that's why I'm like, Liberty says KP and CP are not going and visiting Sebastian. They'd be caught. I agree with that. I think that's logical. And that's why I'm trying not to get too drawn in or too conspiracy driven on this, right? And it's only because I want to keep it logical. And I just don't see that working. YouTuber, my truck, my lovely lady truck. He's got drunk in the trunk. Katie's like, what? No, I'm just kidding. These people creep at night. Yeah, a lot. I feel like a creeper because I'm creeping past the house, but I have never been at to the neighborhood in the dark before, and I wanted to see exactly how dark it was. And it was about the same time that they would have been arriving home around 7 p.m. In February on the 2-year anniversary. So, I'm glad you're here, Jen. Jen, thank you so much. Oh, you don't have to send a super chat again. Thank you, though. So weird. CT was staying at their house. Oh, I know. I know. Trust me, I was like, that's interesting because I heard of whose truck that probably was, and I thought, that's interesting. No, I wouldn't, especially because he can't really be trusted. You know. Yeah, I don't like to have people that I can't trust in my house. All right, so I wouldn't be able to sleep. All right, so we got the neighborhood, right? Nighttime. No one's in the driveway, but somebody was home, obviously. Chris was home. Now, here's the weird part. Some might say, well, Lady Freedom, you just proved that Katie in her van wasn't there on the 2-year anniversary, right? But then again, she talked to Holly Thompson, the local news anchor, and it appeared that Katie was in studio with her. But then Kiki was saying that it looks like she's not really in a studio with her. And I'm like, they could have made it seem like she was and she wasn't, right? I mean, it's easy to do. It's a little bit of TV magic and, Shazam. But that's where my brain went, right, Liberty? Because I was thinking, okay, well, Katie, because I was like, maybe she is working out of town, or maybe she did dip out of town, or, I mean, who could stand to be in the same house with Chris? I'd be leaving too. I'd be like, I need to. But see, then again, he obviously is leaving with his camper to go to work. And then I also wanted to point out in this one that even though I didn't think somebody was home that night when I was there, it kind of appears that there's a light right here that's on maybe in the distance in one of the rooms, one of the rooms back there, and you can kind of see a light. So I don't know. And again, I have this video where you guys can go and watch it and screenshot or however you want to do it, play it on the channels or however. Please feel free to use it. I read about one of them, no email address for it, but it says they take autistic boys. Okay. Oh, wow. I will email the map that shows where they are. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Brenda. Yeah. I mean, I think we need to be looking everywhere. And I mean, if there's tips in Maryland, let's get these tips in Maryland ironed out. Where's law enforcement? We need you. We need you. We need your help. Show me I'm wrong. Prove me wrong, please. Please prove me wrong. I would love to be wrong because I hate to think that there's corruption at the highest level possible. Sasha says because it's everything. Because if everything was that bad, KP would have just taken Sebastian to Seth's, but she didn't. She didn't. They're hiding something that they couldn't allow to be found out by medical. My opinion. Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. They might be thinking about it after the fact, and if the Thud story is true, then a lot of times people will make up a story like that in order to cover up what may be found out later, like blunt force trauma, for example. I hate to think of that. I hate to think that Katie would hurt her son. I'd hate to think that Chris would hurt his stepson. I don't like thinking that. That is not something that makes me feel warm and fuzzy about. Actually, it makes me sick at my stomach because I would hope that they just brought him to a school and dropped him off and didn't tell Seth. I would love it to be one of those 29 schools that we talked about, and CPS is involved in. There's some sort of a corruption because we do know DCS is corrupt. But again, I'm trying to stay so grounded. Fantuski says, oh my gosh, somehow I started to receive podcasts about strict parents, seeing teenagers going to camp in Utah, Wyoming, Texas, Idaho, and they're still operational. Yes, Fantuski, I binge watched a bunch of those, right? I did. Because I wanted to find out what the parents were trying to do, right? Like, okay, I wanted to find, and I know that it's not going to be the same for every household or parent, right? Some of these kids are, smoking, being bad, drinking, staying out partying, having relations, and different things like that, right? That's very dangerous and risky behavior, especially for a young person. Um, and so, sure, I'm like, maybe the parents are at their wits' end. And most of the parents, in my opinion, were so caring and loved their kids and really just wanted them to get help, right? There was no malicious intent. To the contrary, they loved their kids tremendously and didn't want them going down the wrong paths, right? But there is there are a lot of parents out there that just simply don't want to deal with their kids. Let's be honest, or they've dealt with them in such a way that there's a lot of trust that's been lost, and they need to gain that trust back, and the understanding that, hey, I'm doing this for your own good. I'm not trying to, hurt you or make you hate me. So I did too. And a lot of places in Utah, a lot of places in Wyoming, I agree. Rural ranch style reprogramming. I mean, on the one episode they made the kids take out all of their piercings. And the guy straight up told him, he's like, "You can take it out yourself or I'm going to use pliers." And he had a fucking pair of pliers. And I'm like, "Oh my god." So, um could have been recorded in advance. Scranton says, and Catherine says, yeah, yeah, that's true. Is he sleeping in Sebastian's bed? He'll probably tell us in a few months. Yeah, where has he been, I wonder? You know? I hope so too, Christmas Swan. I hope so too. I hope Sebastian is found safe for Seth. Guys, miracles happen every day. Many are in the mountains. Very true, Liberty. Yeah, super creepy. Yes, yes. I know, Kiki, we're gonna have to get you a sitter, and then that way you and your husband can both come out. We need help. We need help with lifting that crap and moving the debris and stuff. Scranton, that's a good question. I don't know. Do you guys know when Betty's court date is? Stephen Crabtree is allegedly living with KP and CP, living in KP and CP's house, but that was back in 2025, and don't know if he's still there. Yeah, that's when I drove by Funtuski, and that's, I guess, when he was living there. But I didn't know that. KK was a bully. Yeah. Oh yeah, Crabtree does wear glasses, doesn't he? You know. Yeah, I know. I know. I feel like I need to support her too. I really, really do. Um, because she was there for me. Betty's there for a lot of people, and she deserves to have a big turnout for her too. They didn't think it would get this big, so I think their whole plan got derailed, whatever the plan was. I think so too. It's so dang obnoxious. Yeah, I agree, Sammy. And he even said that too. He was like flabbergasted that it got this big. Well, don't underestimate Sebastian or his army, is all I got to say. Because we're not going to stop. We're coming up with new ideas every single day. And some people are watching you guys like a hawk, let me tell you. You thought you had to worry about old lady Freedom over here. Looks like you guys have bigger fish to fry than me. Because there's some people that want to get you guys on camera and take your picture and spread it all over the place. Lady, we need to set up a thing in Gatlinburg to pass out flyers. Honestly, there's so many tourists, and if the Sox had the cabin there. Oh, yeah, Kiki, I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea. I never thought about this, but honestly, it would be so easy to hide him out with the Sox or a friend in a cabin. They're so crowded. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. We just don't know, do we? Thank you, Gigi. We don't know. He could be anywhere. And Katie even said that. Good night, Choochie. Katie even said that. He could be anywhere. Could be anywhere, so I'm looking everywhere. I'm accompanying my husband. Horrible. All right. So that was my thing with that. Just kind of wanted to show you guys more of a timeline. As you know, many of us creators drove all the way out to those neighborhoods. You know, in the very beginning, those pictures, JLR, I mean, he did drive out there. And so, you know, that's how we got those. You got to look back at some of those creators that actually went to the neighborhood. That's where you're going to find the gold. And that's how we know how many door handles, what the van looks like, that it didn't really match up with the van in question. You know, it's just important to kind of do that, especially because there's a lot of sightings and a lot of people are doppelgangers of other people. There'll be people that have told me, "Oh, I swear I went to school with you," and no, you didn't. No, you didn't, because you didn't go to the same school as me, right? But you're telling me that I look so familiar to you, blah blah blah. But no, not it. All right, so now I want to show you guys Jen's live. Okay, and we're gonna just go over this. So let me go ahead and share this. And this is what sparked a lot of the Otter business. And this is astrology for Mystics with Jen, guys. Please go over and show Jen some love. She got tons of videos. She covered Nancy Guthrie's case very extensively. And so it's great. All right, and this is where I want to start.
Where we would find evidence if they would just search it again. And then here's the missing shakeup, the missing event. It would be shaken up right here. We can turn on the natal and you can see it right here. Here it is. This is where Sebastian is descending with relationships right here. So this should be a hot spot. There should be a basin right through here. This should be a hot spot right through here, underneath the ground. Let's see if, okay, so here's the DA. Here's the investigation. We could even come down a little bit. Let me see where the FBI is. Okay, the FBI is right here. Okay. Yeah. So the FBI is hovering over the shakeup that would have taken place during the missing event. Let's turn off the missing so we can see the FBI clearly. They received leads here with the state of Tennessee and the House of Travel. It's going to be right here. So if we base this hotspot on the FBI, we want to go up a little bit. Hold on. Because it should be right there. Should be right here with the FBI. There was pipes that were going both ways, but I don't know if it was going this way. I would assume so, because the water is going to flow down, down. There it is. There's the FBI. And we do know that this pond was searched. We got pictures of them. We got pictures of search and rescue here in the pond. So this is their Pluto. That's that 1055. The third house of communications with the state of Tennessee.
They don't want you to know about it.
Did you know you might get a big cash payout if you were in a car accident up to 1 year ago, even if you weren't driving?
This is also the FBI. This is a Gemini energy. This is about communications in two. Could have been two searches. It could be where we have to take something and put in the waterway system here, going through the basins, because it's the basins that we need to check, not the actual pipe itself. But I would think that the basins, if that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, basins. Each one of those little black rectangles is a basin with 12-inch to 18-inch pipe running between each basin. Exactly. So it's going to be right here, but we got to go back up. This is the lead, and this is where we are shaken up. So it could be, so you're saying the black rectangles. There's the trash here. This is where Sebastian is receiving information. And then what's going to happen is it's going to keep on coming. And here is another retention pond. You see that the FBI is over it too. They're shaking up here. That it's something that they do not see. There's
Yes, Kiki, and that's what she's talking about here, about checking all of those, you know. So, yeah, Liberty, and that's still a huge part of it, right? We don't know if he even made it home. They're saying he didn't even, I mean, they have no proof that he left the house. So is he under the house? I mean, we talked about that a little bit, the crawl space and whatnot. And I mean, was there a way they could have came out the one side or however, and how'd they get out of the, because they obviously came out, if we believe the lights are real, which I still wonder. I mean, I don't know 100% on any of it. I can't say, guys. I wish I could. I hate to be the one to sit on the fence because usually I have a better idea of where I stand on things, but I just simply can't in good faith say he made it home. Sure, Liberty. No, why would you think that? Because I know why you would think that because I think about it too. And so that's it, Kiki. This is also Willow Bend is where a lot of this runoff comes out. Apparently, Kiki says, "Remember the home on Willow Bend? The Ellie wanted the footage bad." So I wonder, honestly, if it was checked really good. I'm wondering if there wasn't more commotion or things going on right next door in the new construction. Let's not forget their PI that they paid $15,000 for talked about that construction area, and it's all over his Keltopo. And also, he made a lot of references to it. So, are some of the lights that we're seeing actually in the next door neighborhood, the new phase, right? There was gaping holes back then, guys. Huge holes that someone could have fallen into, that somebody could have walked into thinking that, they'd be okay, or they could walk into and bring somebody in there. I mean, it's still all up in the air, Catherine doesn't think he made it home either. And that one spot, um, Stop 30 Road is a great handoff spot. I mean, even by the Texas Roadhouse in that little dumpster area would have been a good handoff spot if we think the Green Hoodie's involved, which I don't know. I think maybe they could be. I think something went awry. I think that's what caused the commotion. Something was off. Green Hoodie wasn't supposed to be waiting for Katie out there. She was supposed to be waiting for Katie, but not where she was, in my opinion.
something that they don't see here. And this could be it. There is a divine justice with Sebastian. There is an intense experience with this new construction right here. Right here. Intensity, major intensity. Here's the DA. This is where he is reflecting, is right through here. Let me turn on the missing again. Yep, the missing is also riding the FBI again here. Kronos is the same degree as the TBI that during the missing event. It's right through here. So he could be trapped through here in this waterway. And that's why it's very important that the waterway is searched heavily. Heavily. The water comes down here. And this is the opposition.
Hold up. Alana in Texas just placed the dreamiest protein coffee order. She picked Snickerdoodle
To the MC. This is what the TBI learns with their low point at home with Sebastian. And look, right here, Jill, if you're still in here, you'll see it. This is where we were. And it's this pipe that's stopped up. So look, here's the new construction and the water is coming down here. And it's right here. Or this big, big pipe. It's got a lot of, You can't, I mean, it's got a big screen on it, a big screen. You can't, a body's not just going to come falling out of it. And it's also stopped up. This is the one that was stopped up, Jill. Jeff, remember? So it was this one that stopped up.
All right, guys, there's a runoff area stopped up 3295 Long Hollow Pike, Hendersonville, Tennessee. Right here, guys. So interesting. There's debris. There's something gumming up the works, right? Scary. Why no sheets if not for your dorm room? They tried a little too hard to take advantage that he made it home. Put anything CP says, we know that the opposite must be true. I know. Well, that's the hardest part, right, Sammy? Because it's like we're really trying to decipher what parts are truth and what parts are made up, because we know they made up a story. Chris never talks about it as if he was on the phone, and that's a huge red flag to me. Liberty says, yes, lady, and that would push him through the water pipes down underground. Yeah, I mean, look, and I'll tell you, Jen and I have talked about this for a long time. We really have. Just like, how do we get in there, I know Seth was down in those culverts in the very, very beginning. But then remember, all of that weather started coming in. It was rolling in that first week, and they were like, I mean, I remember Ken Widener just saying, I mean, we got to find him before this weather. He had a great sense of urgency because he knew, and they brought in cave experts, and they did put cameras down in there. But there's only so much that can be done, you know? I know. I don't know why they wouldn't unstop it for free. I don't know. I know. Hey, Scarlett. And people were complaining about a really bad odor in that area. Right. Right, Liberty. And those are the things that we have to look out for. And that's the thing about this otter, right? About Splash, is that the otters can identify bone and remains and the odors that we put out, that all of us, and it's only specific to humans. That's what's really interesting as well. Supposedly the not a dash cam only Catherine, that's funny. Supposedly the quote not a dash cam end quote only had about 6 minutes of audio. I did hear that, when it takes longer to get to the house. Yeah, I would say, just to be safe, 15 minutes, give or take. Now stop 30 is about 6 to 8 minutes away. I mean, it's about the halfway mark. About I would have to time it. I could actually go back on my video. Did we go? I'm trying to think, did we go? See, but we didn't go from the Roadhouse to stop 30, but I could still even time it on a Google. Let me see if I can find that really quick. So, yeah, and I hate to think it, Liberty, but I mean, we just have to make sure we clear that, right? I mean, this would be a great opportunity. So, just really quick, I do want to say that when Jilly spoke with this guy, they're trying to confirm all of this, but also he would come out and do it, as long as people would, as long as he would be paid for gas. And, I think Jen was saying, let's raise some money for room and board, things like that. So that would be fantastic if we could do that. But I want to show you guys, the video on Splash 2. Let me see how long it would take from Texas Roadhouse to Stop 30 Road.
And it's from here, right here, going up where I just showed you. Shit. It's from here and it's going up. Okay. We're going all the way up on Willow Bend. It's not letting me go there now. right here. So we keep going up, and there it is, Willow Bend. So we can go down, Willow Bend, here's Long Hollow, and there it is. So what we did is we parked right here at the fire hall. Where's it at? We parked right here at the fire hall, and we went back in the back. We walked the creek that way. We walked the creek that way. We got permission from the guys at the fire hall. They even came out and checked on us, asked us if we wanted any water, explained that they did all kinds of drone search, tons of drone search through here.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44. Guys.
All right, guys. So I just Googled it, and it takes 6 minutes to get to the BP gas station over there. Because the Stop 30 is a road, and that little station over there, but it said 6 minutes. I thought it was a little bit longer. Wow.
Tons of drone search. He said tons of people were looking for Sebastian. Right here. Lots of emotion at home, shakes people up. And you can see that it's in a good standing with Uranus. That is this organization. That's the firefighters that helped during the missing event. Lots of intense emotion with mom is on this angle. Intense experience at home with what's hidden, with the woods, older male authority. And so back here, I've also got a hot spot. And let me show you why. It's because, and we searched it, and let me show you why. It's because if you go up this little road that's right next door to the fire hall, and you go up this little road, it leads you to a bridge that goes over the creek. And the creek is right here. There is tons and tons and tons of debris. And so our next search, we're going to have some men with us because we were not able to pull all of the debris that was in the creek. And I'm talking about 6 feet high. Maybe I'm exaggerating, Jeff. Jill, what do you guys think? There is tons of debris, and we're going to have men. We're going to have strong people picking up debris. There was some debris that we could pick up. There was a lot of debris that we couldn't because it just stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks on at those curves, you know. In the bend, that is where it would get stuck. It is in the bend where we're not looking for like a body, you know, we would be looking for what would be able to come through a blocked pipe, which isn't much. So where is the opposite opening on that debris-filled culvert? It's in the basin, in the retention pond. So if we think about it like this.
All right, guys. So Jen's saying it's going to be in the retention pond. So I didn't want to give it away, Kiki, but you were thinking exactly what Jen's about to talk about.
When there was a lot of hype about the dog jumping into the retention pond. Dog jumped into the retention pond. Dogs doing this, you know, going to the retention pond. The basin, and there's multiple basins that you would have to search. And the only way to search is with a camera, or like Jill found, an Otter that detects human remains. A dog could detect it, but the dog can't go through the pipes and go through each of the basins to try to find anything. It would be intense, and they're going to have to spend some money. And we have that technology. We have the technology. So that's where the blocked pipe that I'm showing you on Long Hollow that goes up to the big drain manhole that brings in the water, the rainwater, and it washes down into that big pipe that's clogged. I mean, we saw it clogged. I mean, we I showed pictures here after our search and everything.
All right, guys. So this is where I want to bring in the Otter video really quick too. So just some of it. Kiki says, have Jen call the city and be there when they clean. That's their jobs, in my opinion. I think that's a good point. That's a good point, Kiki. I'm surprised that the city hasn't done anything about that. That's interesting. I wonder if they even know about it. You know? Yeah, Kiki, yeah. I mean, it just the natural order of how the water would flow through. Hello, Ann Brock, good to see you. That's an environmental risk. Oh, lady being stopped up, the city has to help. I would think, you're right. You're right, Kiki. That's so true. Good morning, Faye. Good to see you. So, very interesting. Hmm. All right, let me go ahead and take this down for 1 second. I want to show you guys a bit of this Otter video so we can kind of see what Jen's talking about here. And we got our little otter guy here. Our cute little, oh my gosh, guys, this little otter is so stinking cute. Okay, you guys can see that. Okay, guys, so the otter trained to detect human remains is named Splash. He is an Asian small-clawed otter who works with Peace River Canine Search and Rescue alongside handler Mike Hadsell, right? Splash is believed to be the first search and rescue otter in the United States and is frequently utilized by Florida law enforcement, including Martin County Sheriff's Office, right? And that is where Mike Hadsell is out of, right? He helps over at Martin County. Okay. And then this is how his training and scent detection works. So, underwater smell. Otters are one of the few animals that can smell underwater. Splash releases air bubbles into a target, captures the scent particles in the bubbles, and quickly sucks them back in to taste the odor. Alerting handlers. He is trained to detect over 500 volatile organic compounds unique to human remains and disguises human bones, distinguishes, and he can distinguish human bones from animal remains, which is huge, right? Because if there are bones, he's going to find them. He'll find them, guys. So, signaling dives. In low visibility conditions where divers can't see, Splash signals a find by either surfacing and screeching or gently tugging on the diver's mask. Wow. And he's saying, hey, I found something. Track record. Splash has been deployed on dozens of missions across the country and has successfully completed multiple forensic recoveries, right? I think he's on his fifth. He's on his fifth. Christmas Swan says, I need him for my son. I think that he might have some way to, I don't know how Jilly got a hold of him, but I can try to find out for you, Christmas Swan. Yeah, because he travels around and, he asks for gas money, which is understandable and that's great. Kiki says in Knoxville, if someone calls environmental health or reports it being in a city, in any city in Tennessee, I would think the city's job is to maintain the roadways and the waterways. Yeah, I would think so too. That is all the city, right? That is all the city. I know, it's awesome, Liberty. I was just like, I couldn't believe it. When Jen called me, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then a friend of mine was like, I think I did send you that Otter before. And I'm like, how did I miss that? I've just been so behind. But I think that's so interesting. And I don't know, Funtuski, how or what the diameter is of the culverts. I know they were huge until they put the grates on top, and the grates look like they're about, I don't know, maybe a foot long, a foot and a half, I guess. So I mean, once they put those grates on, but at the time of Sebastian's disappearance, they were gaping holes, you know? So, all right. So great track record, really interesting. And again, there's 500. Look at him. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Okay, so, but there's 500 different scents that can come off of human decomp, right? And these otters can detect that. So if there's any hint of any of those 500, they're going to catch it, right? They can decipher and distinguish between bones, you know? So, yeah, I would think they would. That is such a good point. Yeah, I'll have to tell Jen, maybe call into the city and see if they can't help. Okay, so this is our little friend Splash. That's our buddy. And here's another one, right? His little face. All right.
Tonight, there are at least 2,366 open cases for missing people in the state of Florida. It's heartbreaking for families and often a painstaking search for clues. Tonight, a unique four-legged approach to finding missing people with a cute little carnivore named Splash.
Florida is a water state.
They are the wild waters where people play and predators prowl.
We see the ones on the surface, but we never see the ones down at the bottom.
A place where search teams look for signs of life and sometimes the secrets of death.
The scent will generate for a long time.
Now this curious carnivore is joining the search for clues.
I lost $50,000 because I didn't buy a domain name. My advice, head to it.
It's going to be her car. It's a dark red maroon Chrysler wagon.
It is a moment of success after a dark mystery, decades in the making.
We just caught Marie Sherman, dude.
Divers with Sunshine State sonar find a car belonging to Maureen Sherman.
Dave is pulling trees off the back of the car right now.
150 feet from her townhome at the bottom of a Miami-Dade canal.
They said we looked and she wasn't there. I think that was the honest end of their search.
Inside are the remains of the mother of four, missing for 38 years.
There was always this, idea in the back of the head. Maybe, just maybe, she changed her name, moved away, just wanted a different life. Maybe one day we'll hear from her.
Finding the missing in murky Florida waters is a...
All right, guys. I don't know why a lot of people think that way, but I will say with these cold cases, people start to wonder or think about how maybe somebody just decided that they didn't want to be around anymore, right? And it usually happens in these cases where it's older people that have gone missing. I don't understand it because why would she leave those two beautiful kids? That sort of thing. So I struggle with that, but in the same way, a lot of people think that way. I was watching the 48 hours videos or listening while I was driving, and it was amazing how many people would say something, like, I just thought they decided not to come home or wanted a new life and living their best life somewhere. Hey, Jen, good to see you. It's so good to see you, Jen. We're playing your live, but I wanted to play like a piece of this really quick so people could see, the otter that you guys are talking about. It's just so amazing. So amazing. Um, so Kiki was also saying about the city. Would the city come out and unclog the pipes too?
Challenge.
The saying is that the investigation ends at the water's edge.
After decades of training tracking dogs at Peace River Search and Rescue.
You know, our dogs are trained to work off anything from paddle boards to kayaks to boats.
Mike Hatzel is taking a novel, some might say absurd approach to finding the missing.
And I thought, why can't we train an otter to do this kind of, if they'll work with us? I mean, if the otter will work with the human.
Meet Splash, the world's first search otter.
Splash is trained to locate and identify the odor of human remains. So his job is to find the human victim underwater in the low visibility conditions that we can't see them. Humans emit somewhere over 500 volatile organic compounds, and it's unique to humans.
As part of his training, the scent of human remains is placed behind a light in this pool.
You'll see all these bubbles start coming out because I hid the scent object behind the pool rim and he was finding it. And you'll see all these bubbles coming out and he's sucking some of those bubbles back in and he's tasting them. The odor attaches itself to the bubble and then he tastes it when it comes into his mouth. And so that's how he does it. When he finds something, he comes back and he grabs my mask.
Last year, an Arizona zoo owner heard about Mike's wild idea and donated Splash.
He is an Asian small-clawed otter.
Splash has gotten big, in part because success in the pool.
Yes. Good boy.
Is rewarded with a steady supply of salmon. Diving in these waters is dangerous, especially for an otter tethered to a line.
Yes, the danger we worry about Splash here is the alligators. For both of us, it's dangerous. I have bumped into alligators.
And when he's not in the water, Splash is sometimes in Dutch the dog's water bowl, or all up in the cat's business.
And now he likes to wrestle.
At the end of each day, Splash has a place in the family bed.
He sleeps with us. He likes to curl up either down by my feet or up by my head on the pillow. They're first cousin to a wolverine, and they have all the teeth. Oh, well, I'm 66 and I'm on blood thinners. When I get bit, I bleed.
Oh my gosh. So we were talking about they're kin to Wolverines and and they bite. He's a biter, but that's okay. Jen says this would be something for the TBI FBI in Sumner County to procure the search and we hook them up with Splash. I mean, it's just a godsend, right? It's so amazing that I would think they would have to say yes. And especially if we're thinking that we're going to be finding someone out there, it is wild, Sammy. Never in a million years would I ever think that, it's just amazing how they can detect and distinguish and also how they do it, through taste, not smell. This is awesome. Thinking outside the box. I will be willing to donate if nothing else would give peace of mind. And that's it too, Catherine. It's like clearing the area is so important. That's why even with the cemetery stuff, I was like, at least we got that cleared, so it's off of our mind, right? We know that he's not there. And I think that's the biggest thing. That way we can focus on other places and other things. We just got to find him, IML says, are you serious? So cute. I know, right? I cannot believe it. So would TBI, FBI need to call city reporting it stopped up, or I would think the public locally could and report that to the TBI. Oh, okay. Yeah. Christmas Swan, yeah. Christmas Swan says, I went through hell. The things people said about my son missing, people telling they just seen him, to people saying maybe he doesn't want to be found. All bullshit. Yeah, he was red rummed. Yeah, no, I absolutely know where you're coming from on that. And I believe that as well. And people do say that though, Christmas Swan. There's a lot, like I didn't notice that before. But then I started hearing it a lot. You know how that happens. Sometimes you never hear something, then all of a sudden you hear it, and then you hear it a bunch of times. It was like that. And I was like, I can't believe people would think that, especially when someone has kids or they've never done that before. They're afraid of the dark. They don't like to be dirty. They, are allergic to grass, those types of things. It makes it such BS, I think you're right, Sammy. Yeah, we don't know the half of what animals can do. I agree. I agree. Yeah, Kiki, our good friend Christmas Swan's really been going through it for a very long time with that. Jen says, all Splash's owner is asking for is gas money. However, we can go further in donation and offer lodge, yeah, and food as well. We just need a leading agency to procure the investigation with Splash. Yeah, and I just wonder why they would say no. I think they would actually welcome something like that. I don't want to, jump to conclusions, but I think this is an awesome opportunity, and especially with a seasoned trained officer like this who, is very good at what he's doing. So just so cute, right, Lori? They're so cute. All right, guys. So here's a little bit more on Splash before we go back to Jen.
Let's go, Hoffa. While Splash is a member of the family, his day job is to provide answers to families of the missing. Mike says Splash is turning skeptics into believers.
I got a list now of search requests for people wanting to use Splash all over the United States. He's very popular with FBI and FDLE now, so he's he's working his way up the food chain.
There you go. He's popular with the FBI. So the FBI is familiar with Splash and his good work. Aw. Thank God for Splash. Thank God for all of our creatures.
We just called Marie Sherman, dude. We got her. The novelty of training an otter to solve a tragedy isn't lost on James Sherman.
They're using sonar to find vehicles, and they're using magnets to attach to that vehicle. What about the bodies that aren't in a vehicle? Those groups aren't going to find them. They don't have the technology. So having the otter who can go down there and smell it, that's a whole new door opened up.
Amen, guys. And this is what I'm talking about when, Sabrina had asked Adventures with Purpose. They said, no, we only do the cars, right? Because that's what their specialty is, and they can detect those cars. Now, with this otter, the otter can go down there and detect all of that, and come up and alert and show. And that's for people who weren't just in a car, but we watched him just do it with someone who had been trapped in a car for 38 years. Yeah, and the otter could go into the depths of the basins. Yes, Jen. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. You know? So, yes, Jen. I was just getting into into those basins too. I showed a little bit of them. I started, well, I'm at like, where am I at? 134.55. So I just showed some of them, but give me 1 second. I'm just gonna play a little bit more of this one.
As Splash hunts, he helps find the clues that elude investigators, one bubble, one breath at a time.
Successful. I expect to see a lot of otters out there. I think they'll be like standard issue probably in 10 years from now.
Doing important work there. When Splash isn't in the water or at home, you might spot him at Publix or Home Depot. He's a customer favorite and wears a harness when he's out.
He wears a harness. How cute. Okay, so here we go, guys. I'm going to switch back over. So just bear with me here. And there we go. There's our Jen. Okay, here we go.
Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it to show you what I'm talking about. Hold on just a second. Let me go to my Canva. Let me go to my uploads. Just a second, guys. Because I do have... video of it. Okay, let me show you. Hold on. Oh, shit. Where'd it go? Okay, hold on. Here we go. I'm gonna have to take this off though. So I can you guys can, well, you don't have to hear anything, do you? No. It'll still play. I'll do the whole share screen. Share entire screen. Because you don't have to hear us.
Oh yeah, Jen, I did. I just showed that part. I did. Let me make sure. Hold on.
Here, let me go up. That one's flowing. So this one right here.
Oh, here we go. This one too. Oh, great. Funtuski. Thank you.
This one right here is flowing. So this one, the pipe that you see here, it's flowing, right? Easily flowing, no big deal. This is where it's at. So it's a little bit toward, Sebastian's neighborhood going that way. And see how it's flowing, easily flowing. And there's not anything major that's blocking it except this little fence. There's really nothing that was blocking it, okay? Nothing blocking it. Now this one is the one that I'm talking about. This one right here. I want you to see it again. Right there. So you see that it's got like this little fence. It's got a piece of wood that's covering the fence, making it stay still, but it's blocked. There's not any water that's really coming out of it because it's blocked. Absolutely blocked. That bridge that I'm talking to you about, that I've got the hotspot, is right here. And you can see all of the debris, and we found a lot of that. There is a lot of debris that it would take us a lot of people to pick that up. There it is. There's a bridge.
Guys, look at all that. Look at all that. That is pretty tall, Jen. I would say it's about 6 foot tall. Goodness sakes.
So all of that water that's blocked, that isn't blocked, it's going and it's flowing this way. So where is the opposite opening on that debris filled cover? It's in the basin, honey. It's the basin. Witchy mama, it's the basin. There is basins. It's not just a quick, it's just not an opened flow. Okay, so it's not an open flow from those retention ponds. The retention pond is retaining the stormwater all the way down. And underneath the earth, it's not just a pipe that just goes all the way through and it's open and it don't stop. There's basins that catches. And that's the reason why this big pipe is stopped up. It's because it's catching stuff that is not allowing that rainwater to flow. Oh gosh, I mean, think about it. It's going to be from Willow Bend all the way to Long Hollow. And so we've got basins that are catching the water underneath the earth and the retention ponds that we can see. So that could be why the dogs alerted to some of those or one of those. Yeah, it was. I would say that it is intentional because they had to, when they put it there, for that new construction, when they put it there for the new construction, that piece of wood is keeping that screen or that fence from bulging out. I mean, there could be some snakes in the creeks, but I mean, we were aware. We have sticks. We weren't, got a piece on us. We weren't worried about it. I mean, I kind of was, but they weren't. So yeah, it's going to be going from the whole way down. And the retention ponds are holding the water on top, but then there is there's obvious water that is underneath the ground too. So all of that water that is underneath the ground, there's basins that are catching it. So like, let me show you. Let's go back.
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store.
See which one this is. Okay, so yeah, so this is where it looks. I'm looking up to that one that's clogged. So I'm looking at it from another point of view right here. Right there. And you see how the water is just standing still here? There, up here, right there. Oh, shoot. It's not going to allow me to do it. But right through here, that's the opening. That's the one that's clogged. And you can see that there's a lot of standing water here. There isn't water that's flowing. There's no flowing water out of there. It's like a drip. I don't even think it was dripping. I don't even think there was any drip at all. I don't think there was a drip. No. Oh, shoot. Yeah, there's no drip at all. Absolutely none. It was dry as a bone right here. And that is telling me that the flow, it's not working. This pipe, it's not working. Like, look at this one. See how it's flowing? All that water is flowing down. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to look like. That's what they are supposed to do. See the water dripping? That other one is not dripping at all. Not dripping. It's clogged. It was dry. Yeah. Also, there is a lot of silt that has washed out of that subdivision. And that's by the bridge. Yep, it's right through there. So when I've talked about this place over and over again. Here it is. Let me show it to you. Hold on. Let me show it to you right here. So this bridge that we were at is right here. So I had a hot spot there. And this is why. Let me show you why. Because the water is going to get stopped up. It's going to stop here. This is where the big debris is. Right? So here is the bridge. And right here, that's where the debris is that we couldn't lift. And then we keep going through here with the waterway, that long hollow pike that we were looking at from Kellyanne is right here. And then it's this one right here from Willow Bend that we are very interested in. because this one is flowing. This one on Kellyn, that's flowing. This water is flowing easily. And we did walk through here in the creek. But it's this water on Willow Bend that's coming off that new subdivision with all those retention ponds. This is where there is a lot of transformation with Sebastian. The FBI is here, but look, lots and lots of emotions, lots of intensity that has taken place during the missing event. And the TBI would not be able to meet their midheaven. It would be challenged because this is the lowest point that they have with children and publicity is right through here. So it is, if we keep going, right? We keep going, it's right through here that pipe is at, right here. Right here. That's the lowest point that they have. And so that's the reason why we're searching the creek right through here. All the way. We searched the creek all the way. And we've searched this side as well in the waterway, which we got a lot to search. But if you think about it, it's like, okay, if all of this is clogged up and we know that there's basins, we know that if there's this, where he could have fell in right through here or got put in, and all of that water and retention pond, there's the retention pond right here. It's going to go all of this way. So it's about a half a mile long. And then we've got the basins that are catching debris and stuff underneath in the pipes until it would empty out through here. And this is where the DA is faded. This is where there is a lot of transformation with children and the public eye. I don't think that a drone would be able to go through there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they would make a drone going through the basins. How do you even get through the basins? That's something that we just have to, how to get camera to go into storm water drain system and through basins. Let's look at this. Oh, well, if you're local, you could definitely help us. Yeah. We'll be searching again soon. I'm gonna be letting people know. I got to get with Jill again and talk about the timing. Because she is, it's going to depend on her schedule, Seth's schedule. All right, let me make sure y'all can see this. Yeah, y'all can. Okay. To successfully run a drain camera through a stormwater system and catch basins, you need to use a rigid yet flexible push rod camera for distances up to 200 to 400 feet or a robotic pipe crawler. That's what we need. Success relies on proper preparation, using specialized center guides and navigating bends carefully.
Right. And I wonder if those, Jen, are what they used in the beginning. I wonder if they use those type or what they used. But yeah, Jen says the goal is the Otter Splash, right? Because Splash can detect underwater, right? And the dogs can only do the surface. Um, but they can detect human remains years and years. I mean, even old bones, ancient bones, I've watched the dogs find in the water. um, so, but yeah, I think utilizing Splash for these waterways would be fantastic. And, the great thing for Splash is that there's no alligators in Tennessee to worry about, right? He's safe. And so he might like it better in Tennessee. So, yeah, those little Land Rovers with the cameras. Yeah. Yeah. And I believe that too, Liberty. I do. I believe he very well could be in there. Um, you know, the little RC remote control vehicles, yeah. I know they have underwater drones, but with this debris and stuff, it's just I think it would be the best to utilize, Splash the Otter because they can naturally, get through.
A snake cam. That's what it's looking like. A pipe crawler. Let's see. Snake cam. For typical residential commercial systems, use a push camera equipped with a flexible semi-rigid fiberglass push cable, skids or rollers, access points. Let's see. Navigating the basins and pipes. Go with the flow. It's almost easier to push the camera downstream of the flow of water rather than against it. The greatest challenge in getting far through a system is cable friction against basin walls and pipe bends. That's the problem. When the camera hits a 90-degree bend or enters the basin at a steep angle, don't force it. Pull back a few feet. That's okay. Let's look at this.
Okay, guys, sorry, Jen. I did find your timestamps. Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, so we got the 201:35. Okay, 201:35. Bear with me here. 201:35. I see. I thought you showed the basins in the beginning, but you must go in depth over here. Hold on one second. All right, 201. Let's start here. Oh, there we go. Hold on one second, guys. Jolly Rancher flavored lip gloss.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll look at it. Hold on. Jeff said he emailed me so I can show it on here. Okay.
Liberty.
Okay, this is what Jeff wants us to look at. And this is the function of storm drains and how it works. So look, so you have the inlet pipe and it drops into a basin. There is all the debris. Here is the basin. The pipe would come, and then here would be the outflow. So there's the grate that we see. But then, that was open. It was completely open.
Okay, guys, and this is what we were talking about earlier. And Jen, you and Jeff were telling me when we went into the construction area, you're like, Lady Freedom, these were big, gaping, open holes right in here. So, yeah, you guys can see, this is where the water comes in and then it drops down. The debris collects at the bottom. The water kind of separates up to the top and then flows out. But there must be so much debris that it's catching, right?
So if Sebastian would have went in that manhole, the big storm drain, then he has to go about a half a mile going through these big pipes and then possibly dropping into a basin. Storm drains and catch basins. I want you to see how it works. So that's as deep. So we could go and we could have cameras going through here, but is the camera going to go down here? Are we going to go to each basin and look down here? Is that what they did? See what I'm saying? There's all the sediment. Here's the culvert. Great. Inlet and outlet pipes. So when I'm talking about a catch basin, how many would you think, Jeff? How many would you think that are between that Willow Bend and Long Hollow, where we?
Okay, so between, yeah, Jen's wanting to know how many are between that area. And Jen, you're right. How would a camera get down in there? They can't, right? That's where we need the Otter. We need Splash, right? This is very, very interesting how this works. I had no idea ever in a million years how this works, and this is great. So thank you, Jeff, too. Because look, guys, it shows us every single bit of how these inlets and outlet, pipings, for lack of a better word, guys, but how it flows and how debris is catching at the bottom in these basins. And we need the Otter to be able to detect these scents, that these 500 scents that come off of us when we're, deceased, in order for them to check and make sure, right? So let's listen on.
Looked. How many basins would you think that there are that they would have to search without any obstruction of the camera? See, this would be the floatables, and then everything would drop to the bottom, and that would create a debris. So there's got to be a bunch of debris that is not allowing that new construction area water to flow into the creek properly. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Thank you, Elaine, for the gift. She sent us some girl power. Thank you, sweetheart. You think that they would be 30 or more. So Jeff is thinking, there'd be 30 or more. So how likely do you guys think that these basins were able to be captured after all that heavy rain? We need another search. We need the FBI, we need the TBI, we need the FBI to facilitate another search and clear this area, clear the basins. Agree? No, it would definitely be, so it would be I would say that it would be the city. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. Who is responsible for storm drain maintenance? Local government, private property owners? Nope. No, it would be the private properties. The local government, the public works, maybe.
Oh yeah, Public Works. Thank you, Jen. Oh, thank you so much, Jen, for the super chat. She says, thank you for your commitment to finding Sebastian. Hugs and kisses. Thank you, Jen. Oh, that is so sweet. Gosh, thank you so much, because this is something that just renews hope, right? Like, that we can find him. We're gonna look, and you know, if anything, what if we were able to find something of Sebastian's, that was thrown out, and evidence is out there, and those are the things that I think about too, you know. It seems it certainly seems that way. They did so much, at a certain point, Liberty, I was almost disgusted about how much resources they appeared to waste. I mean, and then not doing something like this, and taking into account that debris will collect and things like that. I mean, those are things that maybe they should have examined closer.
Private drains, HOA. Let's look at that. In communities governed by a homeowners association, the HOA typically maintains the storm drains located on private roads or common grounds. HOA. Who to contact? Oh, that's not us. TDOT, Tennessee Department of Transportation, TDOT, Stormwater Management Program. But we would want the FBI. I mean, we'd want the FBI because the FBI is the one that has to facilitate this type of search. We have to get the FBI on board with this. It has to. The only other, like I said, the good thing, yeah, but the HOA can't go and investigate. The FBI has got to do this. Slam dunk. The FBI has to.
I just built a budgeting app with Base 44.
Interesting. Can it generate reports?
It can now. Anything else?
Can this thing process in one?
Because it stopped up. We can see that. There's evidence. I mean, I showed you guys. It stopped up. There's no water that's coming out. And there should have been water coming out. Either way, the FBI would have to facilitate the investigation to search for Sebastian there. They would have to be the ones, not the HOA. The HOA isn't going to go investigate. They would need the FBI, right? The TBI, the FBI. 287 County Road. Let me see. Hold on. Myrtle. Okay, Myrtle. Let me see if I have that. Oh, shoot. I did Myrtle. Myrtle, Missouri. Oh, I'm not finding a 287 County Road, Myrtle, Missouri. Let me see. Let me see if I have that. Oh. I do. Yeah, I do. That's Master's Ranch. I do. Let me show it to you. Go back. Let me show it to you. I do. It's right here. There's that address you gave me, but I've got Master's Ranch Christian Academy.
Okay, yeah, I think isn't Masters Ranch one of the ones they were looking to send Sebastian to, Jen? Jen says, yeah, one of the agencies has to procure, right? Like bring them in, right? A search for active investigation and finding Sebastian, right? His investigation is still very active and ongoing. It's not a closed case, right? So yeah, Jen, you're absolutely right. It's like anything else, you know, these big agencies and these search groups do not want to step on law enforcement's toes at all, right? And as a matter of fact, they want to work with them. They want to help them out, right? So, but they do need to be procured by the agency who holds jurisdiction. And guys, it's Sumner County Sheriff's Office. It's the TBI. It's the FBI that we need to, you know, and luckily, you know, Splash is recognized by the FBI. They know who he is, right? It's a very innovative thing. He's the only search otter that anybody knows of, right? So I mean, yeah, it absolutely groundbreaking, and we need them to okay it. You know, we really gotta We just have to work together, even if we don't agree with each other or like each other. You know, Jen and I were talking about that too. Even, even if you don't like us, come do a grid search with us. Even if you don't care for us, because it's about Sebastian. I just have to remind you guys of Dylan Redwine. You know, that's how he was found, guys, was a grid search by a big group that decided enough is enough. We need to find Dylan, right? And they found some bones of his. And then later a hiker found his skull. It takes everybody to come out and do their part. We need people. It doesn't matter what we think or feel or any of it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We just need people. We need people to stand next to each other and do a grid. That's another really big part of it. A huge part of it. I do think of it as a miracle, Sasha. I do. Yeah, absolutely. Even though what you said earlier, I mean, it's like, I hate to think that that's where we're having to look. It's terrible.
The FBI has been there before. There's been communications with the relationship, and we do have Katie here. We do have Katie. A little shaky shake with Katie. But yeah, Masters Ranch is right here.
Stop watching this ad. Go to Wix and grab your domain name before someone else.
Yep. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Let me look at that one. Mahan. So I definitely have that one. Already had that one. That's Masters Ranch. 24302. And Mahan Road. Lamont. I'm not finding that address. Okay, there it is.
Yeah, Jen. I mean, that's the thing. They spent a long week, Jen says, of resources and agencies, but they didn't clear the waterway system, in my opinion. I can't see how the basins were cleared after heavy rain 2 days after he went missing. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was day 2 or 3, but I remember Ken Widener coming out and saying, look, we're about to get some weather. Best case scenario, we need to find Sebastian quickly because of the weather, obviously. I know. I wonder, that's a good question about the new DA. Unfortunately, I've been thinking this for a long time. The statements are interesting, but it's Max that told me we need to go under the ground. Sasha, that's a great point. And Jen brought that up earlier too. I'm talking about how that may have been why there was a hit, right? Because those are the catches, but then you have the underwater catches, and those really need to be checked. I don't believe those were thoroughly checked either. So, well, and that's a good point too, Liberty. Max was a scent dog, or excuse me, a non-specific scent dog. Um, Someone said the pond is concreted over now. Is that true? Oh, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I can't believe they're clogged right there too. All right, guys. So I want to show you guys really quick the rest of this video with the otter Splash, and it'll tell us a little bit more how they, you know, how he detects things and how he can distinguish between different um, bodies of water. All right, so this one, oh, sorry. So this one is going to be from 2 weeks ago. This was April 28th, 2026. Splash, a 2-year-old Asian small-clawed otter, has assisted in more than 30 search and rescue missions using his unique skills to locate missing people. Right? How awesome is that? Okay, so here is our friend Splash.
When it comes to search and rescue missions, we're used to seeing dogs and helicopters. Well, the Peace River Canine Search and Rescue Team has added a new and kind of unexpected member. Gulf Coast News reporter Sarah Mankiewicz went to Northport to see for herself.
Well, this is Splash. He might look like your regular otter, but he's actually search and rescue certified, ready to jump in the water and find anyone whenever he's needed.
Where's Hoffa? Splash. Where's Hoffa? Yes, good boy. Thank you. Good boy. Good Hoffa. Good boy.
At just 2 years old, the Asian small-clawed otter already has his paws on over 30 missions, with 8 recoveries so far.
He's very competitive. He likes to compete against the dogs.
The man behind the otter is Michael Hadsell with the Peace River Canine Search and Rescue Team.
I'm his human. He knows that. He comes to me because he knows I'm going to feed and take care of him. And he has that bond with me.
Splash isn't just cute, he's crucial for finding missing people.
The only critter that is mobile that we can transport and use in different locations, it kind of trains up like the other animals do, like the dogs and the horses, is the otter.
The key is having an animal able to go from the boat to the bottom.
And the dog can alert from the boat, but they can't find it on the bottom. And when you get into cold case work, you know, the bones and the evidence is all sunk down in the muck.
All right, did you guys hear what he said there? All right, so what he said was the dogs can track everything and have the scent on the surface and sniff that out, right, still. But it's exactly what we're talking about is everything that's collected underneath. And so this is where we're in great need of Splash's services here and his trainer. And you know, I think that's so important because when we're thinking about everything being collected down in that debris and that muddy, you know, murky water, this is where this trained otter would be able to find it.
And that muck is murky, but Splash uses his sense of smell to find exactly what he's looking for.
That whisker array on the front of his is like a sonar system. And he's using what we call resonance frequency to find it. He knows what the resonant vibration frequency is for a human bone, and he's honed in on that.
Once he's
okay, and again, guys, did you hear that part? That part right there. He's using sonar and his whiskers to detect the human bones, and that's how he's finding them. Unbelievable. I know, Jen. I cannot wait to show Lily Splash. She's gonna love him. Oh my goodness. We're gonna have to get her a little otter stuffed animal. Oh my goodness. He's just so cute, isn't he? Just adorable. I agree. She'll love him. You just don't understand the different types of dogs and the training. Well, and that's the thing. There's a lot of different things that go along with all of this, right? It's amazing how they utilize their senses, you know, that are so much greater than ours. Oh, I know. Oh, she's gonna say Mimima. Oh, he will find Sebastian. Oh, I know, Jen. And that's the thing. We need to find him. We just gotta find him. Aw. Looked at the pond on Google Maps in February. It was covered. It wasn't covered. I don't think it was covered. No, because that's how they catch all the water. So Bo, isn't that something else? I am so blown away by that. Yeah, they're just retention ponds. That's what I'm thinking too. He is amazing. I can't believe he uses his whiskers like sonar. Like that is crazy to me. To detect bone, so interesting.
Honed in on that.
Once he's found what he's after, Splash uses bubbles to let Hadsel know.
Testing that he actually tastes the odor. He doesn't smell it, particularly with the nose.
Otters have worked on cold cases before, but Splash is the first to work on recent recoveries.
He's doing more recent drownings and stuff, as well as the cold case stuff.
At the end of the day, Splash isn't just a worker. He's part of the family.
He comes in, he sleeps with me at night, comes in around 9 o'clock, and then he sleeps, gets up at 5 when I get up, and then out back, and it all starts over again.
Reporting in Northport,
Yes, good Hoffa. Good boy.
Sarah Mankiewicz, Gulf Coast News.
And did you guys catch that? He uses the scent detector or whatever he's hidden the scent, and he calls it "Go find Hoffa," like right Jimmy Hoffa. Oh my gosh, how funny! Aw, me, ma. Aw, I love it, Jen. I know, right, Lori? It's just amazing. The last person who walked there may have had narcotics on them, and that's the thing too, because I don't know why they decided to use that dog. I wish they would, I don't know. I know they use a plethora of dogs. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, Kiki, Bo. It's dense and paper or something like that. It's not. Well, and that's the thing. There's so much debris and everything caught. And then on the bottom, and those retention ponds are like quicksand at the bottom. There's all that mud and muck and ugh, but look at his little face and those whiskers, those sonar whiskers. Oh my goodness. So cute. He is so cute, guys. And I think this is very hopeful to talk about Splash and what he can do. And, I think this is groundbreaking for missing people's cases, especially because as Mr. Hadbell says, or excuse me, Hadsell says in the beginning, he talked about how, once the water comes into play in searches, we're kind of at a loss, especially if somebody's underneath, right? That's why we use boats with sonar in order to detect and see what we can see. It's much harder to find remains, right? So, and Jen says Jill found him and is in touch with the owner to search for Sebastian. How can we, the people, help the search happen? This is the goal, in my opinion. And that's exactly it, Jen. We have to come together and make this happen, and I think that we could definitely raise enough to bring Splash to Tennessee, especially when the owner, Mr. Hadsell, is so generous with allowing for Splash to do these missions, So I think that, yeah, Bo, and that's true too. Let's get Seth to ask the FBI. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah. And I mean, I think that's a big part of it. I also think that, a big part is also helping him get to Tennessee, to help out with the search, right? To get into those areas where cameras can't, where people can't get in there, using his ability to taste, the scent and identify. There could be someone else under there, we just don't know until we clear that area. And it doesn't appear that it was cleared, Oh, Funtuski says, does anyone local know of the new DA or request an appointment to talk with him? I don't know if he talks about the missing, in my opinion. Well, it's tough because, the new DA was like right up there with the new one. So we didn't really get anybody new that was gonna do anything. I mean, the old DA swore that they were gonna do something. I remember Smiley, tearing them a new one for that. So yeah, we'd need to have like a good GoFundMe. I think that would be good. I know that whenever Mob Crew did their um, fundraising event, I think Silvers did one too, or maybe they put it together or something like that. Um, they used something other than a GoFundMe. I think it was like Make Butter or Get Butter or something. Um, but it seemed like people didn't have any trouble donating to that. So I don't see why we would have any trouble getting donations for something like this. I think this is a little bit more solid even than the cemetery. The cemetery was kind of unknown. This is a little bit more logical, in my opinion. We have to see if Seth will be on board and help clear his this water system with Splash using his contact at the FBI. Ask the TVI in Sumner County. Ask them all. Yeah, why not? It couldn't hurt anything. It really couldn't. Asking all of them. We need their help. We need them to approve it. Yeah, absolutely, Jen. I agree. Yeah, I agree. You know, um, right, Jen? Yeah, that's what needs to happen. Yeah, yeah. Good night. Good night, Kiki. I'm glad you were here. Thank you for being here. Yeah, absolutely, Jen. Thank you so much. We love you very much, Jen. And I'm very thankful to have you and Sebastian's army. I mean, we got to pull out all the stops, right? It's just been too long. We need to find him. We need to find him, you know. Yeah, thank you, Liberty, too, for lending your expertise and on the subject as well. Yeah. And I'm gonna hop off here too, guys. I'm gonna hop off here too. And like I said, maybe I'll put some more videos together of Splash. Like I said, I would really like to help. So I think if we get the Watchers together with the Dragon Tribe and we do a collab, we can the sky's the limit. We can definitely get him there. So if we can offer that up and say, hey, we're gonna pay for this, right? We're gonna crowdsource this thing. We're gonna get this guy here. Hopefully they can't say no. Hopefully they won't say no. You know. So, and this is a new development, like Jen said. Um, we had our beautiful friend Jill just say, I'm gonna call them and see what's up. How do we get Splash? We need Splash. And so I just think it is so amazing, you know. Yeah, ICP thinks that nobody cares about him, Faye, but he is sadly mistaken. Maybe some of you YouTube creators could talk to each other and join forces to fund it getting Splash, in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely, Funtuski. That's the goal, you know. And that's why Jen was also like, I'm like, well, do you mind if I play your live stream? Because, and I'm glad that she allowed for me to do that because look, those pictures, now I understand it. I'm very visual, guys. I'm a very visual person. I like seeing it, right? And so I want to take it in. I want to understand it all. And so when I see that visually, it helps me understand. And I hope it brought you guys to a better understanding of why we would need someone like this, someone like Splash. And I definitely want to keep banging that drum. So hopefully other creators, and please guys, if you're a creator and you want to help out in any way, promote this, Kiki, please, by all means, let's all get together. And this is a good time to do something like that, right? Because look, we have to put things into action and forward motion. It's okay to talk, but doing is what we need. We need to do something. Yeah, thank you, Lori. And I hate that this is where we're looking. I think that's the only downside to this, but the good part is just like with the cemetery, or any of the other times where we've had to take a theory and play it out and see where it leads us, or search an area. We're checking that box off, right? And that's what we really need to be doing, is systematically, strategically, seriously check these boxes off, right? And we have a great bunch of people that are willing to go out and search for Sebastian. Yeah, we can check it off, right, Bo? And that was the biggest takeaway for me, um, with any of these things that anybody's done. Okay, let's check that box off. Okay, we got that area. You know, it's so very very important. It's so very important, and we need people to search. And like Jen said, we need men out there. We need people that are willing to go out there and help us with those big pieces of debris. Um, so, thank you, Lori. Yeah, yeah. This location seems to be pretty promising, Sasha. Yeah, I agree. Um, yes, exactly, Jen. We have to clear this area of water to obtain peace of mind. Yes, absolutely. And I know it's been on your mind, and I know we've talked about it lots. Just those that area, just the water, all of it. It's all important. We have to focus and, really, like I said, get those things checked off. At the very least, that would be what we need to do, and we can do it. We can totally do it. And I just think that this is so exciting. And I'm just so grateful to have such a great group of people like you guys because, and such a great person like Mr. Hadsel here. Like he realized that he could use this little guy, and otters. Like what a wonderful thing. And he has been a dog trainer for years, and then he realizes, look, we can utilize these otters, and that's what he's doing. And he's trying to bring closure to families, even though I don't know if it's closure, but guess what? I mean, before they had no hope and now they have hope. And that's the biggest takeaway. We can never lose that hope. We have to keep going, and that's what's going to drive us. So, um, but I love you guys so very, very much. I want to do a show tomorrow, um, during the afternoon, maybe like some true crime updates and also talk about Sebastian. So let's reconvene tomorrow afternoon and I'll put the live up. Um, that's right. We need to find him no matter what, Bo. That is the goal, right? We have to find Sebastian. Once we find Sebastian, then we'll know what happened. That's when accountability will come into play. Before that, we don't know. We don't know anything. We don't know where he is. We're looking for him, you know? And we just got to focus. I know it's hard. I know everybody is not pleased with the behaviors, that we've seen, but let's try to put that aside for a little bit and really hone in and try to find Sebastian. It's been too long. um, and please keep praying for Sebastian's protection. Pray for Seth. Um, you know, he's our good friend over here. We love him. We want to bring his son to him. That's all we care about. That's the goal. So, all right, guys. I love you guys, and you all have a wonderful rest of your day or night.